Well, the most important thing was getting the hostages back, and now that that's done, it takes it takes really all of the leverage that Hamas has away. Which one of the things I want to point out about this story is that you've seen right after the ceasefire, you saw Hamas now pulling Gazans out of their own house and then shooting them in the streets. And the Trump administration stepped in and said, "This isn't what you'd agreed to. I didn't just mean you couldn't kill the Jewish people. Like, you need to stop killing all people," because Trump does. He wants the peace. He loves the peace. And you hear nothing from the mainstream media. The mainstream media and the legacy media, they aren't mentioning that Hamas is pulling out Gazans. Where's the outcry about them? They only cared so long as it was to slander the Jews. That's really all that they cared about.
And that goes back to the age-old thing. And we taught about the spirit of Amalek in our church. And there's really a spirit. The spirit of Amalek is a spirit that's in opposition to God's people, the Jews first and the Christians eventually. I mean, we see what's happening in Nigeria. I mean, Christians are being persecuted all over the world. You don't ever hear anything about that either. You don't hear the same thing with Jewish civilians. Or I just think about the nearly 1,000 IDF soldiers that gave their life. You hardly ever heard anything about that. Now, I of course make sure that that's front and center on my social media, and I'm always resharing, honest, faithful people that are sharing those stories. But the mainstream media, the narrative is completely crumbling. And it's interesting, now they shift from this to, no king's